Welcome back to camp. Today I'm out in the same state forest I was in on my last camping trip when I had that cat totally just come into my life. I was gonna go back to the same area, however, it's closed off for the next month or two, I guess weather-based. However, this spot is a little less ideal. It's next to a pond and it's open for now. So here we are. It is, let's see, early January, and we're starting to get our first snow, which is kind of surprising of the year here in southeastern Tennessee. And it's been coming down for a few hours, just this really light, flaky stuff, and the ground's just starting to get a little bit covered. So it is probably 20, 25 degrees. It's certainly cold out. I've got the GFC popped. I'm gonna probably spend most of the time in the camper, especially being at this spot. I don't have a fire pit, and it's not a good idea for me to make a fire. So I'm gonna break out the diesel heater, get that all set up, get tent and the camper all squared away, and then we'll see where we go from there. But I wanna get everything set up while the sun's still up and kind of just enjoy some peace and quiet, and honestly, this really nice snowfall. So let's get right to it. Tonight, it's probably gonna get down into the low 20s. I've obviously got the diesel heater. It's already really warm up top here. So I'll probably jump out and drop it down to level 1. I think it's on level 3. So it's about medium temp right now, but it's definitely going to get really hot just keeping this thing all closed up. So probably drop that down to 1. That way I'll use less diesel, don't drain down the power as much. When it's on level 1, it uses next to no power or diesel. So it could run for probably 20 to 30 hours, depending on, you know, the temperature of the air coming in. Obviously, when it's colder air from outside, it has to work a little bit harder to heat it up and then bring it into the tent. Anyways, for tonight, besides the diesel heater, I've got a camping quilt, a pillow, and I may or may not regret this later, but I brought kind of my lighter sleeping bag. It's rated, comfortable temps would be 10 to 20 Celsius. So I don't know the the freedom comparison there for Fahrenheit, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that's probably 30 to 40 degrees, if not more. And then extreme temp would be 5 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that's probably like 35 degrees ballpark. So, but my thought is, with the diesel heater, this plus that blanket, which is really warm, I think I'll be all right, you know. And who knows? We'll see later if it plays out for me or not. And I think for now it's 4:14, so I'm just gonna kind of chill and enjoy this space. Obviously, last camping video, if you guys watched that one, a cat approached me in camp, and her name is now Camp, and she is my cat. She is, I know a lot of you have been asking about her. She's at home and getting settled in nicely. I know a lot of you want to see her back out at truck camping and all that, but I kind of want to get her situated at home first, really feel her out, kind of get a hang for her personality. She's still a really young kitten. She's probably 3.5 months old, so I just want to get her accustomed to that. I do also want to start putting her on a harness and a leash and just letting her roam around the house with that on, so she gets comfortable with it. That way when I bring her out here, at least for, you know, a while she's a kitten, I can keep her on a leash and a harness and you know, walk her around. But most of the time she'll probably hang out in the truck. And then, you know, as she gets older and I kind of build a trust with her, then I can just maybe let her free roam. So that's the plan with Camp the kitten. And, you know, the GFC is rocking. I do have an update for you guys probably in the next video. I'll just leave it here and say that I'm waiting for GFC to get back to me before I say anything about the situation. And outside of that, I've got some parts coming in for the Tacoma. If you guys watched literally the last video I uploaded, I was talking about how my truck was kind of sitting cockeyed, and I took it to a gas station, looked at it. It's definitely, my driveway's not level, and at the gas station it was still a little bit cockeyed driver's side. So my thinking is possibly one of the leaf springs packs, the leaf pack on the driver's side is a little bit more used and not warped, but a little more flexy than the passenger side. And obviously the driver's on this side, the fuel tank's on this side, the battery's on this side of the truck. So all that extra weight, you know, and they were used leaf packs, the Chevy 63s when I bought them. So Lord knows how many miles were already on them on the original Chevy truck they were on. So I ended up ordering some new Chevy leaf packs off Rock Auto. They were like $1.30 a pop. And when I installed the Chevy Leafs I have on there now, I knew I wanted to eventually take them off, paint them, clean them up, put new bushings in them, put new clamps on them. And at least to get the bushings out would be a lot of work. And I don't have a bushing press to press the new ones in. I know you could use probably a C-clamp, but where I'm going with that is between all the parts I'd have to order to do it, the paint to clean them up, and then also the amount of time and hours refinishing them, I figured I would just spend the money on new ones, and I'm going to do that. So in one of the upcoming videos, I'll be installing new leaf packs on this thing. I'm also waiting on some 5-inch shackles. So to kind of level out the truck, because it sits a little nose heavy, I may end up either removing a leaf like I have on these ones, or keeping the leaf and maybe dropping from a 6 to a 5-inch shackle and see how the truck sits like that. We'll see. It's going to be just one of those things I'm going to have to play with and set it up and see how it looks and then go from there. And then I've also got some new wheels and tires en route, which I'm so excited for. But I want to get the suspension dialed. That way when I put the new tires on and wheels, I'm not warping, or not warping, but I'm not creating uneven tread wear on the tires right out the gate. And so suspension, get that dialed. Wheels and tires, get them mounted and balanced. Make sure I clear everything fender-wise and don't have to do any cutting or anything like that. And then get an alignment and happy days. So that's the plan for tonight. Let's see, I'll show you. In the Bouge RV fridge, I've got some udon. I'm going to be adding an egg in there. And then I brought some white rice to reheat up, some kimchi, and we got some coffee and some breakfast sausage for the morning. So pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. And for now, I'm just keeping all my cookware and everything in this tub back here. I've got the new water container with the pump on it, which I'm excited to try out tonight. And then I'm just basically gonna, pull this foam off, set it aside, and then I'll just do my cooking up on top of here like I did last time. One thing I am gonna do though is probably pull these out of their bags so that way they have a little bit of time to fluff up. That way at least I'm giving myself the best shot to stay warm, whereas you keep them in the bags all year round. I mean, this one doesn't inflate much. It's honestly more of like a spring, fall, summer-ish bag, so it's pretty lightweight. And I was just gonna maybe crawl in this, but more so use it as a base. And so we'll just unpack these. This one definitely fluffs up a bit and is super warm. This is just a packable quilt, so we'll just set those aside and let them do their thing. And I've actually got some nice storage here on the GFC I can put the bags into, just by these window vents back here. And trusty old pillow should do the trick. About 6 o'clock now, and the sun is pretty much maybe another 20 minutes of light outside. The snow has seemingly stopped falling, but we've got a little bit on the ground just to make it a little scenic, which is, I'm not complaining, but the GFC is nice and warm. It's about, this thing was sitting a little close to where the diesel heater comes out, but saying 77 inside the camper with basically zero humidity, which is awesome. There it goes. Now that I pulled it away, it's probably going to simmer out around 65, 70 degrees in here. Very, very comfortable with the diesel heater. I think, I don't know. I mean, I guess you just bundle up with a fire or a really, really nice sleeping bag, but this is hard to beat, having a diesel heater. So I've just been kind of chilling here, killing some time. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you enjoy sunflower seeds, jalapeno. They're hard to find, but they're delicious. I actually found that pack of jalapeno sunflower seeds. I want to say it was either in Missouri or Illinois. I don't remember which part of the trip or which area I was in, but it was when I was actually picking up the GFC from Kansas City, Missouri. Stopped at this gas station, was shocked, had to buy a pack. I was actually going to give it to my dad because they're his favorite as well. And I totally have spaced, and they've been sitting in my pantry for like a month, and now I just really want to enjoy them. So anyways, a little tangent there. I'm just kind of not killing time, but just passing time comfortably in here. It's nice and toasty with the diesel heater. Read for a little bit. Now I'm just kind of hanging out until it's dinner time. It's currently just after 6 o'clock, so sun is basically set now, and I'm gonna kind of wait maybe, I don't know, maybe another hour and a half, and then I'll start cooking on dinner, which I actually realized will be really easy because I don't even need to break out the gas stove. I brought the little electric kind of jet boil type thing. It's a Stoke Voltaic, and I can just boil the water for the udon in there and actually cook the egg while I'm boiling the water all at once, and that should be a really easy, tidy dinner. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think now the plan is to we'll just keep hanging out. I'm really enjoying sitting in here and being warm. It is so nice to finally have a chance. Not that the last time was not fun, but when the kitten showed up, it just kind of threw everything. My focus was no longer enjoying my first camp with the GFC, and it was, what do I do about this kitten? So now I'm actually enjoying the GFC, and it's awesome. I do love it, and you know, I'm excited to start building out the bottom because having just that crate is not the most ideal. It just makes, I don't know. I really can't wait to start building it out. So I will catch you guys, let's see, probably in a little bit when I start to get dinner ready. So I got a bowl. This is what I was talking about earlier. So this is the Stoke Voltaic. I think it's called the Joule, technically. And it is a electric miniature stove, I would call it. So you can, there's a drink, eat, and pop function on it. So what I'm gonna do is pour the water in here. For the ramen, I'm gonna just put the egg in this while it boils to kind of soft boil the egg for the ramen. And then I guess afterwards, while the ramen is soaking in the hot water, I will put the rice in here as well and kind of heat this up, and then maybe a little side of kimchi on the go. So that's the plan. Should be pretty straightforward. Dinner was absolutely delicious. I did have to put the udon back in to cook some more because I didn't realize on the instructions it said to put it in the microwave after you put the seasoning in the hot water. And obviously I don't have a microwave in here. So back in the little pot it went. And after that, it's pretty good. So I did go ahead and rotate the bed to the other side. That way the diesel heater isn't like right at my feet and I'm not going to be toasting the whole night. So I think that'll work out nicely. I'm going to obviously leave like this little section here that I'm standing in. I'm going to leave that open just so some hot air can pass through down below, because I do have the power stations down there and they don't love to be discharging when it's, below like 32 degrees. And right now it's probably about 20, 23, 24. It is currently 60 in the tent, but that's probably because I have the window open for a little bit to do some cleaning. So anyways, I think I'm gonna hop into bed here, call it a night, and I will see you guys first thing in the morning. All right, it's pretty late now. I just had to hop around downstairs to move the diesel heater onto the bigger power bank. I was running the diesel heater on level 1, and honestly, it was not that warm in here. Like, it was dropping down into the 40s, which, I mean, if I've got a diesel heater, I expect to be pretty warm. So I had it on the smaller of the two power banks, and what I did was shut off the diesel heater, which has to run through like a whole shutdown process. It takes like between 5 and 10 minutes, and it chilled down in here really quick. And then I switched the cable over for the diesel heater. I switched the cord over to the bigger power station, and because I was monitoring it, and I was like, on level 1, it said I was going to make it like 12 hours on the small power station. And if I bumped it up to level 2 or 3, it was probably going to be like borderline not making it through the night. And you don't want the diesel heater to just shut off without running through that shutdown sequence. So shut it down, switched it to the bigger power bank. Now it's saying I can run on level like 2 or 3 for close to 20 hours. So should be good now. It's nice and cozy in here. I got it back up to 68 degrees. Humidity's pretty low. So yeah, it's just kind of like fine tuning this thing. I mean, I had it pretty dialed. Like in my old fiberglass shell, I could keep it on like level 1 and it would just be super cozy in there. But with this being a bigger space, tent walls, it's not nearly as insulated as that fiberglass shell was, which, pay to play. I've got an upstairs and a downstairs that needs heating now. So it's just a bigger space, and I'm trying to like figure out the settings for the diesel heater, and I think level 2 or level 3. And basically on my diesel heater, it's level 1 through 6, 6 being the highest. So level 2, level 3 is where I'm at right now, and it's really cozy in here. I don't even know if I could sleep with it being this warm, so I may pump it back down to level 2. But I figured I'd share that with you guys, just part of the trial and error of the new camper. And, glad I have the diesel heater, because when I turned it off to switch power banks, oh my gosh, it was cold. And I was like, well, in this scenario, I really should have at least brought my actual 0-degree bag. The diesel heater could just stop working for some reason or another. That's quite possible. And I honestly should have brought the other sleeping bag just in case, but at the same time, if that happened, I'd probably just start the truck and head home. So backup plans on backup plans are always good. I should have brought this 0-degree bag, so that way I had diesel heater, these blankets, a 0-degree bag. Worst case scenario, I just drive home. So anywho, I'm gonna try and go back to sleep, and yeah, see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning, folks. I ended up waking up around 7 a.m. today to a slightly cold tent. The diesel heater turned off probably. I mean, it was still in the high 40s, so couldn't have been, off for that long. Hopped outside and almost out of diesel. So I did get it running again by tipping it, so that way the diesel is, because there's still some in there, but I tipped it so that way it's closer to where the pump inlet is. So for now we have heat. It definitely drops really quick as soon as that diesel heater turns off. It's actually, I can look it up. It says it's 27 degrees and it is 48 degrees in here right now. So not a big spread there, but I'm gonna go ahead and get cooking up on some coffee because I need that ASAP. Start cleaning things up. I do need to possibly cook breakfast. I kind of don't know if I want to. I'm not that hungry, but I also don't want to do it in the cold. So we'll see. I'm gonna start with coffee. That's definitely priority number one. Try not to spill this on the comforter, or not the comforter, but the mattress here. It's a little sketchy. This morning we've got, I'm almost out of it, but Warpath Coffee Breakfast Blend. Roasted in the USA. Made by Navy SEALs, so that's pretty cool. That's the front of it. So, a couple things I wanted to make note of. One, I need to bring my diesel with me because I have a jerry can for this situation exactly. And I didn't bring it because I was like, no way I'm gonna burn through a whole thing of diesel. I checked it before I left and it was totally topped off. And here we are. Diesel heater's still running, thankfully. I turned it down to low. So, pop this guy on there, let that do its thing for a bit. My diesel heater actually has those are my keys, has a key fob, which is really nice because you slide down kind of like the button cover and you've got an on off up and down on it, so I don't actually have to jump out of the camper to adjust it, which is nice because I know some people with their diesel heaters, they run like the actual unit inside and then they route the exhaust pipe out of the truck. But the first gen Tacoma does not have a place for that, and I'm not keen on, drilling a hole in my stock truck bed. So at least not yet. So right now the diesel heater just stays outside, which means that the control unit on it is also outside, which means I can't tell, or I can't adjust it, the level without this little remote. So that's really clutch. I did also notice something else. The inside of the GFC has this T-track all the way around it. And so I was thinking hypothetically, I could maybe take almost like the same carpet or maybe some speaker carpet, the kind of lighter weight stuff. And I could actually cut out pieces that fit. Maybe 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. that would cover the tent walls, and I could attach them to the T-track up top. So that way they're removable. Obviously in the summer you won't need it, but in the wintertime, there is a little bit of a breeze in here just because of the venting. So having like a insulation screen on these might be cool, especially one that you can just take it in and out as you please. Just a thought. I was laying down last night. I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of T-track up there. I could attach lots of things to that. And immediately my mind went to insulated carpet. So that's something I was thinking about. I know there's not an easy way to pour this, because it doesn't really like to come out very nice if you put the lid on it. So I kind of toss the lid to the side. A couple grams in there, not the end of the world. Nice and hearty. Oh yeah, that is the spot. All right, so coffee is ingested. Overall, first night in the camper. Oh, I have to sneeze. Nope, went away. Overall, first night in the GFC, pretty dang good. The comforter, the mattress, I don't know why I keep saying comforter. The mattress was really comfortable, and it's the V2 Pro that I have, so it's got the new mattress in it, and I slept great. The heater obviously was clutch. If I didn't have that, it surely would have been a lot chillier in here. And I know a lot of people complain about the condensation buildup with the diesel heater. We stayed at like 30 to 25% humidity in here, so there's absolutely no condensation anywhere, which is nice. But if I didn't have the diesel heater, I'd be curious to see what that would look like in here. Also, I'm finding that being able to stand up like right now without having to get out and make my coffee and all that is clutch, especially in wintertime. Summertime, I don't mind hopping out, but wintertime, especially in the morning, fresh out of bed, I don't want to get shivered to the bone. So being able to stand up, change, make coffee, make breakfast, do all the things in here is pretty nice. So I really love the removable little pieces that you can rearrange. So like this long one here that the camera's sitting on can switch around. It can go horizontally and go vertically side to side, horizontally to the front, to the back, and then you can just put these in individually. So that's really nice. I'm actually kind of only using the one that the camera's on right now because I need something to put the camera on. So filming in here, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I think honestly having like GoPros would probably be really nice, because I don't know, maybe to the T-track or something, mounting wise, but you know, overall I can't complain. The lens that I'm using in here is a 16 millimeter, because my workhorse lens that I almost always have on my camera is a 24 to 70 full frame, and that is just a bit too tight of a focal length for filming inside here. So I swapped to my Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4, and that does the trick. I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't shoot 4K on the 16 mil because it's a crop frame lens, and that's a full frame camera. So I have to punch in a bit, which is fine. You know, overall, just kind of like figuring out the quirks of this thing and how camping goes in it. And so far, I'm really digging it, you know. When the weather's not raining, I'll leave it there. And I'm excited to do some summer camping, to be honest. Having these windows all open and the bug screens there, I think it's going to be a whole vibe in itself. But next up, like I said before, I got to dial in the suspension. We've got new wheels and tires coming in, which I'm oh so excited for. Cannot wait to show you guys the new wheel setup. The tires are cool too, but the wheels, it's going to be sweet. I think this first gen deserves it. So I won't be rocking the used setup anymore. I found out that my tires that I currently have on here, because when I bought the truck, I bought these wheels and tires that are on it now used on like Facebook Marketplace. I got them, the whole set, for like $500, and the tires they've lasted a long, long time. But they're also, I looked at the date stamp on them, and I believe they're made in 2014. So they're like 11 years old now. So definitely there's a little bit of dry rot. I do have a cut in my sidewall from wheeling, which still holds air, but I don't want to risk it. So I figured now's a good time to switch out the wheels, switch out the tires, put some fresh speeds on there. So look forward to that. Probably got a leaf spring install coming up, wheels and tires, and then I'm going to address some things on the GFC, and then we can start talking about the build out, and hopefully not talking, but hopefully doing the build out in here. So also look forward to that. And because I know a lot of you are interested in Camp the Kitten, I'll throw at the end of the video here a little bit of a little clip for you just to appease you and give her some showtime on the camera. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up this coffee, get Camp all set up, or not set up, but taken down, and get on out of here. Time is now 8:30, so pretty good. First night in the GFC accomplished. Cheers to that. Well, folks, camp is put away, truck's ready and warmed up. I'm gonna hightail it out of here, but thank you so much for sticking around and watching these videos with me. I don't watch it. Well, I do watch them when I edit them, but thank you for sticking around and being a part of it. I really appreciate it. And the channel's been really growing a lot lately. So to all of you who are new here, cheers to you specifically, and cheers to everybody else who's been here for the longest time. So, yep, pretty cold out. Snow is still kind of trickling down a little bit, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Keep elevating, my friends. Adios.